Hi there, Robbie Susan Chandler here from RobbieSusanCardsandCrafts.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Quincy, Florida, right outside Tallahassee, Florida. Today I'm here to share a beautiful card with you made with one of our online exclusives, which means it's not in a catalog, it's only online, from the suite. The suite's actually called Flowering Zinnias, but we're going to be using the paper, which is Flowering Zinnias, and that number is 163469, but I'll have links to all the products down below the video. And we'll be using the stamp set and the dies. And the bundle is number 163480. So let me show you the card. This is the card we'll be making. And the background is the designer series paper. And I'll show you that piece that I used. This is a beautiful piece, and you can just cut it in half and cut you sections and make several cards out of it. This whole pack is very vibrant, lots of vibrant colors. Green apple greens, mossy meadow, old olive, and then all these bright colors in here. So let's see, we've got berry burst, blackberry bliss, flirty flamingo, highland heather, lemon lime twist, lemon lolly, melon mambo, just everything. Mossy meadow, old olive, petal pink, pumpkin pine, real red. So anything goes with this paper. So this is the paper we'll be using for the card. And my zinnias, which you see in the middle of the card, I actually cut from the perennial lavender paper, which is in the catalog and we'll be carrying over to the new catalog. And I used this piece right here to cut my zinnias. So let me give you a closer look. This is called a fractured card because it's fractured into several sections, and I just used one piece of designer paper behind it. A lot of people like to use different ones, but I'm just trying to keep it simple. And I made this one kind of thinking of you, hoping it's better. I wish I could make this better. But the one I'm going to make today is going to actually be a birthday card, because I figure, oh, all these flowers, this also could be a happy birthday. So let's look at our pieces. We start with our base, and this is Granny Apple Green, and it's 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And then on top of that piece is our piece from the designer paper, the Flowering Zinnias, and this piece is 4 by 5 1/4, and that just simply goes right on the front, but don't want to put it down yet, and I'll explain to you why. And then inside we have just basic white that's 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, let's look at how we put this card together, and I'll tell you why I said don't glue it down yet. Because I did make the mistake of doing that a few times, and it's harder to make the card if you glue this piece down to your card front first. Because when it's glued down there, you're not going to be able to work with your fractured pieces. So the first thing you want to do is cut a square out of basic white, and let's just look at all the squares we're going to use. I used the Stylish Shapes, and we need 2 white ones, one with the largest and one with third to the largest, and a Granny Apple Green that's the size in between. And then this piece is for our sentiment, and it also comes from the set Stylish Shapes. Alright, so this piece is the first piece, and we just glue it down just right in the center right there. And I've already done that with this one. Now we're going to start working with our fractured piece. Now you will need some strips, 1/4 inch, and if you want to cut them 11, 8 1/2, I just happen to have these, and these are a little bit short. They're 5 1/4, and it would have been better if they were a little bit longer, but you need Granny Apple Green strips. So the first thing you want to do is put your glue on the back, and you're going to start in this top corner right here, and you just lay your strip there and glue it down, and it goes off the edge. You want to glue it all the way off the edge. So this one I've already glued on. So you see now why you don't want to glue it down to your card front yet, because you're going to have to turn it over and snip it. So that's your first side, and I'm not going to glue these, I'm just going to lay them to show you. Here's your second side, glue it down, and you can either put your glue on the back of the strip or you just kind of run it down where you think it's going to be. Here's your third side, and then you have the fourth side. So then, like you see, you have all these pieces off the edge. So after you've glued it down, you flip it over, trim them off, and ta-da, this is what you have. All right, so this is our front piece that we're going to work with. Now let's work with the zinnias and the other pieces. All right, so here I've glued it down. Now I'll be honest with you, this is one I glued down before I trimmed it, and I had a little trouble getting my trimming done here. It worked, but it's just not quite as easy if you glue all those strips down first. Okay, so let's start with putting our squares on. So we have our large white one, and then I have glued the basic white and the granny apple green together. And we just want to put it down in the center of the white one, just like that. Now, the zinnia. Let's look at all the pieces for the zinnia. Zinnia is cut, and I cut 3 of them. One of them has a large center, and I just cut one of those, and that's the one I use on top. Some people use a smaller center, but you see what I mean by smaller center? See the difference in the two? So I cut 2 of these with this die and 1 with that die. And then I just took my bone folder and I looked up zinnias, and some of them curl up, some of them curl down. It just doesn't matter whichever way you want to do it. So I layered, after I curled them all, I just layered all of these on top of each other and just glued them down together. So that's one of the pieces of the zinnia. And then I cut 2 leaves out of this one. And then we need, for the center of the zinnia, is this piece. And I cut it from crushed curry, and it goes right there. And then around that is this little star-shaped piece, and they go right around that edge. So when you get those together, this is what your zinnia is going to look like. And now see the back of the designer paper, but here's all my little leaves and levels of it. And then also on this card I added these little stems, and they're cut from this die. And they also have these 2 little flowers which are different, and I just cut 1 of each and adhere those right behind there. So that gives you 2 little stems here that look like that. And this one is Fleur de Flamingo, and this one is cut from Daffodil Delight. Now the center of this was crushed curry, and the ring was Daffodil Delight. Alright, and one more piece I added was this kind of little funky looking limb, and it's cut from Fleur de Flamingo, and it's this die right here. When I looked at it, I thought, well, you know, that could be reindeer or deer antlers, or it could be coral. There's lots of things that one little piece could be. Alright, let's put those out of the way and finish putting our card together. Okay, so first thing I did was put down my flower. I like to put, this is a little, I'll take care of that later. I like to put my flowers on first, and then I can add my leaves around it. So I just put glue on the back of it and just stuck it down to the middle. And then I added, just put a little glue on this, I added these up at the top to give a little fullness at the top. One there, and one up here, like that. And then I added my leaves. Now, there's been some conversation as to which direction do these leaves go. And I think to solve the mystery, if you'll just look at your designer paper, if you notice the points, this end goes out. So the rounded end is what's attached to the stem. So the pointed end is the one that you want out. So I just put a little glue on there, and I stuck one under here. Kind of made one of them to go down in this corner somewhat. Let me slide this up some. And a little glue on this one. Since everything was already so dimensional, I didn't put my leaves on dimensions. I just stuck it there. Stuck them down with the glue. And then a little glue on that. And I think this just adds a little more color here. I like lots of fullness in a flower arrangement, and I play around with flower arrangements. Okay, so there's the front. That was pretty easy to put together once we got all the pieces cut. And then on this one I actually stamped Happy Birthday. And I used Granny Apple Green ink and Fleur de Flamingo ink. And the front was go-to greetings for thinking of you, and then this happy birthday came go-to greetings. And if you want this set, you better grab it now because it's not going to be in the new catalog, and it's a great set. And the number on it is 158763. And then I used, this is the Zinnia stamp set. I didn't actually, I did stamp the Zinnia right here. I like to put a little flower in there, so the Zinnia came from here. And then the sentiment in this one that says, I wish I could make this better, came from this set, Comforting Thoughts, which is a new online set, which is really nice. It's 163691. Okay, so let's take one more look at the cards. Here's the birthday one. Here's the hope you could get better. I can make this better for you. This one I actually put some Wink of Stella on it. You see it kind of shimmering. This one I didn't. Now, you notice there's a little gem here in the middle. These are the adhesive back shiny sequins. And I stuck one in the middle, and on this one I put one of each color. So we'll just stick some of these down here just to add a little. And I usually use my take your pick tool, but you know, sometimes the fingers just work just fine. There's one there, and let's add one more over here on this corner. Alrighty. So there's our card. I think it's so pretty, so cheerful. Could brighten up someone's day for their birthday or if they're not feeling well. I hope you like my card, and we'll try it for yourself. I've got links to the supplies I use below. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. And please subscribe to my channel and like my video. And until next time, happy crafting.